Maybe you've already heard the news. Pickleball is becoming the fastest growing sport in America. Yes, we're not joking at all. Its popularity among players saw a 21% increase between 2019 and 2020, even though it's been around for more than 55 years. And don't worry, if you aren't familiar with the sport, we've got you covered. Without further ado, here's everything you need to know about this game and the reasons why it's so popular. Starting off, what's pickleball? It's actually a paddle sport, which, as you can guess, involves the use of a paddle and a plastic ball with holes in it. What's more, it combines the elements of badminton, tennis, and ping pong. The best thing is that this game is suitable for players of all skill levels and ages. The rules of the game are simple, making it an excellent introductory sport. And when people get a hold of it, it can also become a fast-paced, challenging, and competitive game. Up next, let's talk about the game's origins. The origins of this sport can be traced back to an island community outside of Seattle. It was on Bainbridge Island in 1965 when three dads invented it as they were figuring out a way to keep their children occupied. And half a century later, this game invented by Barney McCollum, Joel Pritchard, and Bill Bell is still popular among all. When those three dads came up with the idea, they were trying to initiate a game of badminton, but they couldn't find any shuttlecocks, so they improvised it by lowering the net. Nowadays, it's played on specialized courts that are roughly the same size as double badminton courts. The standard court size is 20 feet by 44 feet, with the ball being 2.874 to 2.972 inches in diameter. Besides this, different paddles have been approved for official use. Moving on, here's why it's called pickleball. It might sound like you're playing with a pickle, but no, the balls that are used aren't made of pickles or any related material. One version of the name comes from a reference to fishing or rowing boats, in which the final boat that comes back includes whatever the crew has left over to row. Its slogan, "Make do with what you've got," also discusses the origins of the sport, which is an amalgamation of whatever equipment that the families could find around at the time. Besides this, there's also a fictitious story that gets its name from the family dog, Pickles, who loved chasing the balls. But it's fabricated because the family adopted a dog after the game had been invented and then named the pet after it. Following that, who can play it? The best thing about pickleball is that it's a game for basically anyone. It's a non-contact sport that doesn't really require a lot of running or ground cover as tennis. In fact, NBC did a story on the game and spotlighted a 91-year-old participant. What's more is that health experts recommend it as a great sport if you're not in great shape or are older. But that doesn't mean it's only for the elderly. It's an amazing outdoor activity for everyone and can be as hard-fought and competitive as a tennis match. A recent survey has revealed that more than 75% of the core players are 55 or older, with less than 14% of the casual players being less than 55 years of age. As you can guess, it's very popular in the Pacific region, where it was first invented, but it's been seeing a huge surge in popularity nationwide as well as overseas. Now let's see why pickleball is so popular. Let's discuss the reasons behind the popularity of the game. First off, it's a low-impact sport. If you don't know, low-impact sports are the ones in which the player has one foot on the ground at all times. Pickleball is a low-impact sport because it's played on a small court and doesn't typically involve a lot of jumping and moving quickly across the court. That's what makes it so appealing to people of all ages. You won't find one player coming in contact with the other players. The players won't have to put a lot of stress on their bodies while playing as well. In fact, they can move slowly across the court. In this way, it doesn't put much stress on the joints and bones. Not to mention, it's a good exercise. As we've mentioned, it's a low-contact sport. It's a great way for you to stay active as you're moving your body and getting exercise. For those people who don't enjoy going to the gym and just want a different method of exercise, this game is a great way to have some fun and get your body moving while playing. According to the Mayo Clinic, it's been recommended to get 30 minutes of exercise every day, and pickleball is a perfect way to meet this requirement. As a single game lasts between 15 and 25 minutes, and get this, the matches get determined by the best 2 out of 3 games that have been played. So playing it will give you more than your recommended daily exercise. Now that's a win for all. Next up, it works on coordination and balance. The sport does require hand-eye coordination as well as balance. You'll have to pay attention to your balance as you move across the court and focus on your coordination when you hit the ball with the paddle. So it's one of the best ways to acquire these wonderful skills, which can be beneficial for all players, from children to senior citizens. Following up, it's pretty easy to learn. It's one of the easiest games to learn to play. This is one of the major factors for the increasing popularity of the sport. Although it doesn't have a lot of rules, it can still be as competitive as you want it to be. This means that those people who've never played it before or aren't familiar with it can easily pick up on it and take on experienced players. The rules are available online, and you can quickly review the basic things. The game is pretty straightforward, as there are just 5 basic rules that you can learn in a minute. To make it even easier, let's review them right now. First of all, the ball should remain within the white line of the court. If it gets out of the boundary, then you lose your serve and the opponent team gets to play. Secondly, the ball is only allowed to bounce once per side, or it'll be returned to the other team if it bounces twice. Thirdly, the serve can only be made at the baseline, with 1 foot of the player behind the line. Next up, the serve shouldn't land in the no volley zone, which is the area inside the lined box extending 7 feet from the net. Lastly, the game ends when one team reaches 11 points, but they must exceed the opposing team's points by 2 in order to be declared as winners. Let's learn about how the game is affordable to play. The most interesting thing about the game is that you can play it and have all the fun without emptying your wallet. It's the major reason why a lot of people find it appealing, as you don't have to splurge big money on the equipment. A basic set of paddles and a wiffle ball is all that you need to get started. What's great is the fact that this equipment won't cost you more than $30, unless you're planning to play it on a higher level, which may require some high-end material. Unlike tennis or golf, you don't need to get a membership in an expensive club to play it. Even if you can't find or afford these items at the moment, you can still check them out in the recreational parks and gyms. On top of this, it's actually pretty inexpensive to participate in the tournaments. Coming up, it isn't that demanding. Pickleball isn't quite as demanding as tennis or other related sports. In fact, you can fit 4 pickleball courts into a single tennis court. This means that it requires minimal space. Besides this, it doesn't require a lot of raw strength and speed as compared to tennis. Instead, the players need to focus on their strategy. Again, this doesn't mean at all that this sport isn't good exercise. It's an excellent exercise, except for the fact that you aren't straining yourself much. Last but not least, there are well-established organizations for it. Just like other major sports, pickleball also has well-established rules as well as organizations that focus on the development and regulation of this game. For instance, it's currently being governed by the USA Pickleball Association within the United States and its territories. And ever since its official inception in 1984, the association has also overseen many national and international tournaments throughout the years. Besides this, it relies heavily on the support of its major stakeholders. In fact, sponsorship deals and extensive media coverage are other reasons why the sport has been getting a lot of attention over the years. More and more people and groups have been investing in it, so you can easily expect pickleball to have even more fans in the future. That's a wrap for this video. Have you ever played pickleball? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing and exciting videos like this. See you in the next one.